instead of saying, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm not hungry anymore. Hey there, Coach Devin here. All right, we have all heard this saying before, which is clean your plate. I'm sure you've heard it from your parents. You may have said it to your kids. And I got to tell you, this is one of those things that you probably should never, ever say. I'm going to tell you that and why it is you shouldn't say it right about now. Before we get going, please hit that like and subscribe. Hit that heart down below. Subscribe to the channel. The reason I make these videos is I'm trying to put out good, honest, real information about health and fitness. I've been a trainer at 28, almost 29 years now. I've owned a gym for 12 years. The whole point of this is I love to give out good information about health and fitness. So please hit that like, subscribe. If you hit the bell on the other side, it'll tell you when I make another video. All right, cleaning your plate. My parents were not big on the whole cleaning of the plate thing. And my mom did it because she didn't like the fact that when she was a kid, her parents made her clean her plate and she would eat until she felt sick. And she felt that wasn't a good way to raise her kids, so she never did it. So I didn't grow up in the situation where I had to clear my plate. So when I get full, I just kind of stop. I'm like, that's okay. I'll just stop and I'll eat something later on, right? It's all fine. But the problem is a lot of people grow up in a household where it's normal to say, clean your plate. You should clean your plate, clean your plate, clean your plate all the time. And I'm here to tell you that is not the right way to do things. And here's the reason. I understand lots of times your kids are going to be like, I don't feel like eating. Lots of times my kids, the girls, with Rain and Journey, when they were smaller, Kaylin and Mila, they're like, I don't want to finish eating. Here's the thing. Kids will do that sometimes. My rule always, when Rain and Journey were little, was this. I'd be like, that's okay. You can have 2 more bites and then you can put it away. But if you want a snack later on, that's what you're getting for your snack. So you don't ask me for a bedtime snack later on of something else, something cool, something fun. You're not getting a bedtime snack of something cool. You're getting supper. And I used to say to the kids all the time, this is not a restaurant here. I make this food. It's healthy. It tastes good. This is what you're going to eat. If you don't like it, well, those are the breaks, but then you're going to be hungry. Now, that sounds hard-ass and it sounds kind of mean, but it was one of my rules to make sure my kids learned to eat all their food all the time. And it worked pretty well because both my kids, the older ones, I should say, Rain and Journey pretty much eat everything. And Kaylin and Mila, honestly, are really good kids, and they both tend to eat a lot more food than they used to. So I'm starting to try to get in there a little bit with them and get them to listen a little better to me. They're, you know what? No kid is perfect, but all 4 of my kids are awesome. Look, telling your kid to clean their plate when they are legitimately full, because lots of times kids are full. Maybe you gave them too much food. Maybe they ate something earlier. If you're telling somebody to eat their food, and this is one of the things my mom taught me, was if you're saying eat your food, even when you're stuffed, you're teaching somebody to eat and past the point of being satiated. We don't want to eat past the point of satiation, because if you get used to eating past the point of satiation, guess what happens? You're going to do it for your whole life. And the problem is nowadays plates have gotten bigger. When I was a kid, plates are like this big, right? Plates now are like that big. Plates have gotten huge, and we fill the plate with food. Well, if the plate's this big and we fill it with food, there's, whatever number of calories in that. If the plate's 25% bigger, guess what? We're going to fill that plate with food too. And then when you tell your kid you have to eat all the food on that plate, clean that plate before you can have dessert, for example, which a lot of people do. I didn't grow up in a household with dessert. I didn't give the kids dessert very often. My kids do not have dessert very often. It's just not one of the things we do. What happens is they get used to stuff yourself so you can be rewarded. Stuff yourself with food more than you are comfortable with so you can get a reward at the other end of more food. That's not healthy. It's not smart. And it's not good overall. And I understand parents are trying to do their best. Everybody is, right? There's no manual on it. Being a parent, it sucks because you don't know what the hell you're doing 90% of the time. I didn't know what I was doing most of the time. I'm not saying I'm a good parent necessarily, but what I am saying is the one thing I have learned is if you learn to clean your plate as a kid, it's going to be more challenging later in life to understand when you're satiated and stop. There's nothing wrong with leftovers, guys. Leftovers are fine. Rain and Journey used to get leftovers all the time, and I'm like, you know what? There's more food in the fridge. Don't worry. There's supper from last night. You know what? They're pretty comfortable with it, and they'd eat it. Kaylin and Mila are doing that now. It's actually super easy and good. My wife eats leftovers. I eat leftovers. Nothing wrong with making extra food and then giving somebody else leftovers at the other end. So don't tell your kid, clean your plate. It's not a good plan. It's not a good thought process. You're setting them up for possible failure down the road because of the fact that now they think that they have to eat all the food on the plate. When they go out to eat at a restaurant, the food plate's this big, it's full of food, and they're going to stuff themselves instead of saying, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm not hungry anymore. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with when you get satiated stopping. In fact, it's really a good plan. So give it a try. Don't tell your kid to eat until they're stuffed. Tell them that's okay. You're full. I always said to the Rain and Journey, have 2 more bites, and you can put it away. I say that to Kaylin and Mila. 2 more bites, put it in the fridge, and if you want it, you can have it later on. There's nothing wrong with that, and it saves you money later on down the road. If you have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Don't fight, be awesome.